folks, and welcome in this week's vlog. Late start of the week this week, very late start of the week. It's actually Thursday today. It's been a really busy week, so you might have seen, when take from that angle, the back outside the garden, I've got a caravan store there. Long story short, I managed to get a storage space. Is really difficult, especially since COVID. Really difficult to get an actual storage space. I managed to find one, so I had to clean and get the caravan ready to go. So it's not gone yet. It probably will go at the weekend. Still have a few bits and pieces to do, but I've been really focusing on this and obviously other things going on, so I've not been able to do an awful lot. I did come water check on everything in here or at the allotment. I've not done any sowing yet. So in last week's vlog, I mentioned that this week and next week were meant to be quiet weeks in terms of sowing. I was so wrong, like so wrong. So it's third week in March just now, and I've actually missed a couple last week, which I'm gonna do this week. It's fine, it's not a big deal. But there's quite a few stuff to be sown this week, and in fact there's an awful lot to be sown next week and the week after. I've got quite a few tender sowing to do today or this week. So today, because I'm not gonna have much time for the rest of the week. I should probably hold off, but I'm gonna give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, that's fine. I'll be able to do them in 2 or 3 weeks time. Got plenty of seeds. So today we're gonna do the cucumber. I think I've mentioned in a previous vlog that a couple of years ago, that's the first time I've done cucumbers, and I had done the Picolino, you know, the wee snack cucumber, which were lovely. I don't eat cucumber personally, but my son absolutely loved them. They worked a treat, and the harvest was just constant. Last year, I thought, I got a bit greedy, and I thought, you know what, if it worked so well, I'm gonna go for full size cucumber. It worked really well, but we ended up throwing so many of them, or half cucumber, you know, because they were drying out, they were getting a bit soft and all that. So they were not eaten fast enough, and at a point in the season I ended up giving them all away to people because I just had too many of them. And you can't freeze cucumber, so it's really difficult. I know you can pickle them, but yeah, couldn't really use them. So this year I'm going back to Picolino. And the other one we're going to be sowing today is the French dwarf bean, or the dwarf French bean dwarf. Anyway, Slenderette is one we are doing today. We are also doing the very last of the tomatoes, the cherry falls, the one for outside. So I'll do those ones, and then remember the plot tour that came out last week. I did mention about the Nagina. I still don't know how to pronounce this one, so we'll go with Nagina. I'm not going to say all throughout the season Nagina or Nagina. We'll go with Nagina. If it's not the right one, please correct me. So I did say that I had no germination. It's still the same. That's the one right here, not a single one. So I'm going to be sowing some more Nagina, and I'm going to be sowing some cherry falls. Right, so that's us ready. You know the drill. Cucumber in small pots, tomatoes in green trays, and the dwarf beans will be in root trainers. I'm just going to batter on. This will be a long time lapse for you with a bit of music. Hopefully you enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Right, so as much as it felt really cold when I came in this morning, it's not been an hour and it's roasting in here. I'm absolutely roasting, so time to come out of here, bit of tidying, and then crack on with the rest of my day. Right, folks, I've got to be very honest. Today is actually Monday, so it's meant to be the following week. But I've got so little content that I had the choice between not releasing a vlog for like vlog 18 now, or packing up into two weeks worth the following week. So I thought I'm just gonna do the Monday. The reason is obviously you've seen the bit with the seed I've sown in the greenhouse at home. But apart from that, I came here on the Tuesday very briefly to water everything because it was beautiful at that point. It is now, but it's not been so much so at the weekend. So I came in here just to water quickly, but I was running or delivering sensory gardening workshop, which is something that I do. Obviously, all that is with autism is very, very close to me, very dear to me. It's kind of my background. So it's it's something that I've always been interested in. Obviously, that's something that works really well with gardening. When I was younger, I've also worked in a care home with Alzheimer dementia patient. So this is again something that's very close to me as well. And recently, I've completed a training course on dementia awareness. So during that workshop, what happened is, with the participant, we've made a planter, just a half whiskey barrel. Basically, that's what we've used. It's quite common to find them here in Scotland, believe it or not. So we've made a planter like that, but it's basically giving all the tools to the people that came, so they can make a smaller version, same size, or even a whole garden. And this idea was the sensory planting in mind, basically. So put a few pictures here. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any filming done because it's something that I was delivering and not something that I was running myself. So I didn't feel comfortable filming this, but someone took some pictures. So there you go. So you can see roughly what's been done. I'm here today, as you can tell. I'm here today. The sun is here as well. I was gonna sow some radishes, direct sowing. I forgot my seeds, so will be for another day. But I was also planning to start digging for the pond. I probably won't be able to finish it all today, but we'll see what we can get done anyway. So I'll crack on with this and I'll catch up with you guys afterwards. Turns out that I've managed to do a bit more than I expected. My idea was I'm gonna dig the first depth and do the ramp, and then it's probably going to be time for me to go. But it was actually a lot easier to cut the ramp than I expected. I think it's because obviously the ground is still quite wet from the rain we've had the past few days, so it's just sticking a bit together. So hopefully it stays that way and it doesn't collapse. We'll see. My issue is I've realized obviously it's quite a good depth, you know, so spade down at least. Then when I started digging, I was gonna go another 3/4 of a spade down, and I've managed to do this on half pretty much of that wee hole in the middle, but the other half I hit some hardcore. I don't quite understand why. It's like hardcore and granite dust, and I'm not exactly sure why this is down there. Obviously much bigger stones as well. There's those ones. So it's not as deep as I wanted it to be there, but it's fine. It's like kind of a slope. The final bit is like very shallow and then going a bit deeper, so it should be okay. It should be okay overall. But what you may have noticed from that slideshow is me having this small bucket with me. The amount of bindweed is unreal. So I knew I was quite bad in terms of bindweed in there. I was hoping we had pulled out most of them, but it's nowhere near touched it. So I've got, it's gonna be difficult to show you, but I've got some stones in there, but also a lot of bindweed, which obviously I've tried to pull out as much as possible because the soil is now moved onto 5 of the raised beds. And that's what's going to be used to grow in. Obviously, there will be some soil added to it, but overall, that's what's going to be used this year. So we don't want any bindweed growing in that. So I've pulled out most of them. I'm not going to put in the compost because I'm not confident that the compost will reach a high enough temperature to kill it. So it's just going to be put in a bin bag and taken away as rubbish. And same with those stones. Obviously I still have a few stones that I'm going to have to get rid of. I'm hoping that some rain will just kind of wash out some of the loose soil and compact it a bit and allow me to have those stones poking out. And this really concludes this week's, or slightly extended week's vlog. We've done some tomatoes, some sowing of tomatoes, some sowing of cucumber, and I'm pretty sure there was something else, but I cannot remember now. Dwarf, French bean, dwarf. I was actually checking at the weather forecast. It was what it was the next 90 days, you know, the next 3 months. But for the foreseeable future, it looks like the lowest we should get is around about 2 or 3 degrees and some nights. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. That should be us out of the worst of the frost, so we can really start the sowing outdoor. It's now officially spring, obviously, earlier this week. So I think we can crack on. I had, as I've mentioned earlier, I was going to do some radishes today, which are fine. They are fairly frost hardy anyway. They are not going to be needing much heat to come up. But I forgot to bring them over. But I also have been holding off the carrots because I don't want them to come out and get hit by the frost. So no carrots just now. Might be coming in a week or two now if the weather stays the way it is just now. But the radishes will be sown, well, in the next vlog, but this week, really, you know. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, I would really appreciate, as usual, you know the drill. Thumb up, really help the channel, and if you're not a follower yet or a subscriber yet, I would really appreciate if you consider subscribing, and make sure to tick the bell as well so you get notified when the next videos are coming out. I've got a couple of different videos that will be coming in the near future, which are either in shooting just now or have been shot and are ready to be released. I just don't want to do them back to back, because I think if you see me once a week or so, it's plenty for you guys. There's other content creators to go and watch the rest of the week, so I'm gonna try to space them out a bit, so they might be a bit later coming out, but they should be coming out in the next few weeks really. So yeah, if you take that bell, you'll know when they are coming out. But in the meantime, folks, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.